How's it going? It's Sergeant Safety here, ready to keep you safe throughout the day, throughout the year. You know how I roll. Today I'm going to go over some guidance from CalTrans, Department of Transportation here in California, for special work program crews that do litter abatement and beautification projects throughout the highways, right? We got a lot of litter bugs out there, and a lot of the litter crews and the beautification projects crews have not been out there working because of this COVID stuff. And now the streets, the highways, everything's all trash right again. First of all, if you're a driver out there, quit throwing your trash out the window, right? It is job security for those guys doing these litter abatement projects, but still, keep California beautiful. Quit throwing the trash out the window. Now, get to this guidance, right? So if you are one of these work crews that are out there, in particularly my work crews that are the back to work programs, you may have to do litter abatement on different work jobs or different work orders. So you got to be prepared, right? Prior preparation prevents poor performance, like I said in all my other videos, right? PPP. PP. Okay, so CalTrans laid out some guidance on litter abatement and ways to prevent contracting the COVID-19 virus while you're out there working. So it's just some safety precautions and some measures in place to help keep you safe so you don't get the virus and spread the virus to others and or your family, right? Because we want to make sure our family stays safe. We want to make sure you stay safe. So some of the guidance, I'm just going to go down a list of what they set out and maybe give some examples. All right. So some of the things that you got to do, you got to train your employees on how to identify health conditions that may make you more susceptible to the COVID-19, such as your high blood pressure, health issues, diabetes, your age, you know, things like that. If you're having difficulties in life right now and have particular health issues, you may want to check up on your public health website to see what those are and see if one of your underlying conditions may make you more susceptible. Okay, so you got to know how to self-screen at home so you don't bring it to the work crews out on the highway. You don't want to bring it to your battle buddy. You don't want to give that COVID out there to anybody, because then they're going to bring it home to their kids, their loved ones, their family, their dog, whatever it might be, right? So some symptoms to look out for when you are at home: fever, chills, coughing, fatigue, muscle cramps, headaches, loss of taste or smell, sore throat, congestion, runny nose, right? Nausea, vomiting, bleh, right? You don't want that. And of course, diarrhea. Okay, so if you have any of those symptoms, hey, please just call in sick, right? Call in, let your employer know, let them know what's going on with you. You're getting these symptoms. They may make you stay at home and self-isolate for 2 to 14 days, depending on the severity, and make sure that you're good to go, right? And you won't pass it on to others. They also got to train your employees on the call-in procedures: who to call, when to call, how to properly communicate that message that, hey, I may be sick, I've been having diarrhea all day, and I can't go out there on the highway to go work today. So I maybe need to chill out and telework, get the Zoom in, get some special training. And then also the employer needs to be able to teach you how to seek medical attention. Each different county is different. Some counties have the drive-by checks. So check with your public health, your own county's public health, and then you can identify different ways to direct your employees to seek that medical condition. And you got to train them the importance of washing your hands, right? Got to wash those digits, got to wash those manos, right? So it's a 20-second bare minimum. Wash your hands. Wash your hands every chance you get. And if you can't wash your hands in certain situations, make sure you have some hand sanitizer, to disinfect whatever might be on your hands, because you may have to come into contact and touch different things. You don't want to have that and contract it, because it's just a common thing to touch your face. Everybody touches their face way too much. I do too. It's a habit that we need to break, especially in these days and times. So when you're washing your hands, like I said, 20 seconds. and soap and water. And then also, if you can't get that soap and water, use at least a 60% ethanol hand sanitizer or 70% parental hand sanitizer when you don't have access to that sink and soap, right? So when you're washing your hands, make sure you fully wash your hands. Some people just, bam, I'm done. You take that 20 seconds, wash your hands, wash the insides, wash the tops, right? Get into it, wash it. I'm not even there 20 seconds. I'm going to wash my in between my digits and get at it. Yeah, I'm getting clean, and I'm going to be doing my tops, my fingers, boom, right? Get nice and clean. Always wash your hands properly, right? So that's what you got. The employers got to teach their employees, right? And this is just some guidance that was recommended through CalTrans for these work crews, but it also applies to others in other fields as well. So you got to teach your employees the importance of social distancing, right? Physical distancing when you're at work, right? When you can, you do that physical social distancing, such as 6 feet away, right? 6 feet away to help you keep safe for another day. All right, excuse me. I have Dr. Pepper, 23 flavors coming up now. All right, so you also got to teach your employees on the proper face covering methods, right? So you got to wear a face covering when social distancing is not allowed. And then also it is recommended to wear it whenever you're out and about, right? So face coverings, they're not PPEs. They're not personal protective equipment. That's like saying, I'm going to put up this chain link fence to stop mosquitoes from coming in, right? So it's not there really to protect you. It's there to protect others, okay? So it's there to protect others from your droplets, your nasal droplets, your saliva, things like that. It's going to prevent it from going out, okay? So it's not going to prevent you from contracting or breathing in stuff or other from your breath from going. It's just going to prevent that droplets from going on surfaces commonly touched, and so you prevent those from going out, right? Still continue your physical distancing while washing your hands frequently, and avoid touching your eyes, nose, and face and all that, because whatever's on your hands, you're going to easily pass that through. Ingestion right here, absorption through the eyes, right? So you want to make sure you do continue to wash your face, or wash your hands and not touch your face. And you should always wash those face coverings after the workday is over, after the day is over, to continue that cleanliness and proper preventative maintenance, okay? When you're working out there, now you got to be able to have different cleaning protocols. And some of those cleaning protocols, you got to be able to clean those thoroughly high traffic areas. Things such as like your staging area, your transportation vehicles, your equipment after each shift. All right. You're going to clean those touchable surfaces between shifts or between different users, whatever is more frequent. You're going to want to clean those and disinfect those areas, especially those high touched areas, such as the door latches, different equipment, cell phones. If you have to share cell phones, don't share them anymore. And then places in the work cab truck that you have to clean up, places where somebody else might have been sitting. You might want to have to disinfect that. I would do that prior or after your shift is done, and then of course throughout the day multiple times, especially if it's high touched areas, right? We got to make sure that we use we wash our hands and use hand sanitizer between the use of any shared equipment, such as tools, different radios for communications. And we got to require our PPEs, such as our hard hats and face shields, be sanitized after work. So you got to make sure you're sanitizing the insides and the outsides of all your PPEs. You're going to clean and disinfect all equipment, right? All equipment. And it's a recommendation to avoid sharing like tools. So if you're out there and you're having to work with the shovel, different or whatever it might be, in this case, litter abatement, you may have to have a litter picker. have that identified by a piece of tape, yellow, blue, orange, red, and then that will be your tool for the day, right? So identify those tools by color, and assign that color for the individual that day. Now, avoid sharing tools and anything throughout the day as much as possible. You do not want to have to share things, especially because, hey, I might have it, you might have it, who knows who has it, right? So with that said, never, never, never share PPEs. I'm sweating, I'm sneezing, who knows what's coming out of me, right? If I didn't report my symptoms, right, and I had that diarrhea, and now I'm just coming, and who knows what might happen, or if I was vomiting. So that's why it's really important for you to self-identify and prevent the spread. All right. So it is recommended, if you do have the capabilities to have hands-free devices installed on your work trucks, on your work vans, on your trailers, with hand sanitizer, self-dispense soap methods, maybe a foot pump, water spout, something like that. That is recommended, but most people can't make those changes due to financial difficulties. So you got to make sure we do sanitize those commonly touched areas after usage, right? So hand sanitizer spray, wipes, anything you can to get those cleaned up, all right? You're going to make sure your facilities are fully stocked. So your head, your porta-john, whatever it might be, you got to make sure that they're fully stocked with cleaning materials. You make sure you have running water, soap and water, and hand sanitizer on hand, so those employees can clean up and continually wash up, all right, and disinfect whatever they may have touched. And then also there's different regulated cleaning materials that are approved by the Environmental Protection Agency. You can go on the EPA website and look at that approved list. And then also you could use different methods of disinfecting tools and cleaning surfaces, such as take a gallon of water, put 5 tablespoons of bleach in there. Shake it up, mix it up pretty good. That'd be a good disinfectant. And then also there's those alcohol solutions, but you got to make sure that they have at least 75% alcohol. That's appropriate for cleaning, right? And disinfecting those surfaces. Now going down the list again, so physical distancing and set guidelines. So we got to make sure that we keep a minimum 6-foot distance, right, from each other. But when we're being transported to the work site, that's kind of hard, right? So when we're getting transported, we got to make sure that we wear our face coverings, definitely mandatory face coverings in the vans, in the work trucks, whatever it might be. So definitely got to have those face coverings. Now, in a work van, let's say we're going to work in the van. So you have your driver, you got to stagger everybody in the van. So we're only allowing on our back to work crews 2 to 4 work members to be transported at a time. So, and you got to stagger those individuals. So if you have one individual here, then on the next row, you have them as farthest point away. And then on the next row, have them the farthest point away. So you stagger and keep some of that social distancing in place while you're in that transportation van. But remember, you have to wear your face coverings. And it's really imperative because of this and the lack of the ability to get that 6 feet and you're in that confined space of the van, to self-screen at the beginning of the day. And if you are feeling any symptoms, don't come in. It's not worth it. It's not worth passing it on to your battle buddies. All right. When you do go on the highways, make sure you park on a safe area, and you could continue that social distancing. No matter what, CalTrans Protection of Workers Chapter 8 in their maintenance manual says, hey, no bunching up of workers. So you need to keep that 6-foot distance anyway. So that's already commonly practiced. But now this is just like by law, we got to make sure that we stay 6 feet apart while we're out there on the highway doing these beautification projects. So stagger on the job site, right? Don't bunch the workers. Make sure that we do have enough space to work, right? And then when you're taking employee breaks, you may want to stagger those. So, hey, I don't care if you could go smoke and joke with your buddies today because, hey, I want to make sure that you're safe. So, hey, Fred, you're going to be working on you're going to be continually working. Well, I got Manuel over here. He's going to be taking his break. If you want to go smoke and joke by yourself, make sure you hydrate. All right, it is hot out there. 1 quart per hour. All right. So make sure that you encourage your employees to bring your lunch from home because you want to take less exposure as possible. So it's really impossible to do that when you're going to fast food restaurants or the gas station or whatever, so forth. So if you have the ability, make sure you bring a homemade lunch to work just because it will limit your exposure to others who may not be following this process and the exposure to contracting the virus. And definitely, whenever you are out there on the highway, if you see an unsheltered camp or illegal homeless encampment, avoid it. Turn the other way. Don't go through it. Don't even go near it. You don't know what kind of material is around there. First of all, there's a lot of biohazards. And then plus, you can have more exposure. So don't ever pick around there. We'll save that for the hazmat teams, guys that make the moolah, right? So don't do that. Now, when we are out there, so in the back to work operation, we require individuals to have puncture resistant gloves. So when we're dealing with debris and things like that, puncture resistant gloves are very necessary. But in case for this situation, I want you to have those puncture resistant gloves in your pocket just in case you need to put hands on debris. First of all, try to avoid using your hands at all times. All right. Now, in place, in lieu of these puncture-resistant gloves, while you are using the litter stick and cleaning up litter without using your hands, you're going to have a disposable nitrile glove on, right? Those doctor gloves, the rubber nitrile gloves. First of all, if you make sure your employees are not allergic too, because there's a lot of people allergic, and it's not only to self-contact with the gloves, the powder on it can make somebody have that exposure if they're allergic and maybe break out in hives or whatever it might be, breathing difficulties because of the nitrile gloves. So make sure your employees aren't allergic to those nitrile gloves. But in lieu of the puncture resistant at this time while they are picking litter, wear those nitrile gloves. If you do need to go to their head, you dispose of those gloves properly without contact. Wash your hands at 20 seconds. Get your water. Wash your hands. Put another nitrile gloves on, new pair, or same thing with the restroom, the head. Also, if we have debris, so if we do have a piece of debris that we need to clean up and take over to the trailer or something, you're going to take those nitrile gloves off properly without exposing your skin to the gloves. Then you're going to dispose of those and wash your hands 20 seconds, and then take your puncture resistant gloves out and move the debris. But it is preferable to not have any exposure to the hands at all. But there are situations where you got to use your hands and take some debris and load it up in trailers. When you get done with the debris part and you have to put back on the nitrile gloves to go do picking, take off your puncture resistant gloves, put them in your pocket, wash your hands, put the new nitrile gloves on, and so forth. Remember, 20 seconds washing in between. So that's all I got for today, but I just want to make sure that everybody's out there doing safe. If you need some advice, you know how to contact me. SergeantSafety22@gmail, BCOE, tsanchez@bcoe.org. I'm here for you, here to pass the word. Just let me know. I'm here to keep you safe. I'm your friend, Sergeant Safety. You know that. Come contact me when you need me. All right? I'm just here for you. So, hey, I want you to have a good day. Be blessed and stay safe. stay healthy. Thank you.